The month of February rolls on as Arch Madness is now just a little bit under a month away. Welcome to the latest edition of the MVC Hoop Shootaround. My name is Garrett Dockett, and as always, joined by former Valley Player of the Year, Adam Emmenecker. Adam, how are things going?
Fantastic. How are you, Derek?
I'm doing good. Like I said, we're getting geared up at the conference office for the month of March with our men's and women's basketball tournament and the NCAA. But like I said, Arch Madness now under a month, and we're into that run now where we've got the second half of conference play underway, and we're starting to get things geared up into March. So it's going to be a fun stretch for us, a busy one, as we all know, though.
Right. Well, Derek, as a player, you get through kind of the doldrums of the January season and you're off from school and you come back from school, and then it gets a little laborious at times. But once you get past halfway through the schedule, you're just like a snowball rolling downhill, picking up momentum. The season gets really real that the season's almost over. The players are starting to feel it right about now.
And you talked about momentum. You talked about getting the ball rolling. Going back to this past weekend of action, we just saw Wichita State finally drops a conference game to the last team that beat them, the last Valley team that beat them, going back to Arch Madness, Illinois State. The Redbirds seem to be making a habit of getting things going once the month of February rolls around.
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, how good do you have to be for it to be newsworthy? Just the fact that you lose. I mean, that's a testament to Wichita State, and we'll talk about them in a second. But yeah, surprising win out of the Redbirds. I mean, everyone knew that they were a talented team. This is the fifth straight year they've defeated a top 25 team. But like you said, Dan Muller making a habit of really peaking once you get into February. Last year they had that run of 3 straight losses at the beginning of the month. Then they get 6 straight wins, including the one you talked about over number 8 Wichita at the MVC tournament. This year they did kind of the same thing in January. They lost 3 in a row. Now they've won 5 of 6, only with 1 loss in overtime against Missouri State. Big shout to Paris Lee. How about that guy scoring 13 of 19 in the second half and 19 points when you score under 60? That's a big percentage of your team's output. And Deontay Hawkins, of course, with 14 and 10. So Dan Muller's got that group playing well, and they have a roster that can compete with anybody.
Absolutely. Deontay Hawkins actually named the Valley Player of the Week on the men's side. So that win for the Redbirds over Wichita State, obviously a big one, and we'll see if they can carry the momentum forward. Wichita State, even with a loss, still maintains a spot in both polls, 24-25, depending on which poll you're looking at. But no matter how you slice it, the Shockers are still good, and no one's taking that away from them.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the ultimate sign of respect that you're talking about, keeping them in the polls, and it's well-deserved. They've had a really good year, and that really with Fred VanVleet, after he came back from his injury, they've just been starting to gel together. The freshmen are really starting to play, and that team is just kind of hitting on all cylinders. You're going to get – actually, I'm surprised they haven't had more of those stumbles throughout the course of the last 3 or 4 years. That happens, and it happens to good teams. They just caught Illinois State on the wrong night. Uncharacteristic for them, too, to lose a lead a little bit. But, just look at how they moved through the league. So other than this loss, they've had 1 game that's been single digits. 1 game. So they're winning games by 10, upwards of 20 points consistently. We've talked a lot about them. It's been well documented. This team is truly dominant. They're a great team. They still have a great future going in the last month of the year.
All right, switch gears. Team that sort of found their way and getting their ship righted. Loyola got the big win against Northern Iowa and Southern Illinois as well.
Yeah, and we haven't talked about them much. But they are starting to make some noise. That Porter Mosier's bunch started 1-6 in the league, and we talked a couple of times about how that was a little disappointing because we were expecting them to take a step forward. But now they have wins over Indiana State. They won at SIU. They're sitting at 4-8 in conference. Not anything to brag about, excuse me, but they've won 3 out of their last 5 games. So they're starting to roll a little bit, and this team has talent. You talk about Milton Doyle, Earl Peterson, Montel James. They have size, athleticism, inside-outside balance. If this is a group that's playing well, once St. Louis comes around, this is a team nobody wants to see. Loyola's really dangerous.
Yeah, you make a good point there. Teams like to sort of find their way going into Arch Madness. The Ramblers shifting around the lineup a little bit. Some guys coming off the bench that don't normally do it, but hey, it's worked for them, so you can't take that away from them.
Hard to argue with success.
Absolutely. Adam, thanks so much for your time, buddy. We'll talk to you again real soon as we gear up even closer into March for the fun run into the postseason.
Sounds good. Thanks, Derek.